Be good, and you will be lonesome. A lie can travel halfway around the world, while the truth is putting on its shoes. Don't wait. The time will never be just right. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that. But the really great make you feel that you too can become great. I was seldom able to see an opportunity until it had ceased to be one. Always do what is right. It will gratify half of mankind and astound the other. Clothes do not merely make the man. Clothes are the man. Never put off till tomorrow what may be done the day after tomorrow just as well. The only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, drink what you don't like, and do what you'd rather not. Go to heaven for the climate, hell for the company. Climate is what we expect. Weather is what we get. Under certain circumstances, urgent circumstances, desperate circumstances, profanity provides a relief denied even to prayer. Giving up smoking is the easiest thing in the world. I know because I've done it thousands of times. With courage, you will dare to take risks, have the strength to be compassionate, and the wisdom to be humble. Courage is the foundation of integrity. The man who does not read has no advantage over the man who cannot read. Don't go around saying the world owes you a living. The world owes you nothing. It was here first. Age is an issue of mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. Let us consider that we are all partially insane. It will explain to us to each other. It will unriddle many riddles. It will make clear and simple many things which are involved in haunting and harassing difficulties and obscurities now. I have never let my schooling interfere with my education. A full belly is little worth where the mind is starved. Kindness is the language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. The best way to cheer yourself is to try to cheer someone else up. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. Of all the animals, man is the only one that is cruel. He is the only one that inflicts pain for the pleasure of doing it. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. Suppose you were an idiot, and suppose you were a member of Congress. But I repeat myself. If voting made any difference, they wouldn't let us do it. The worst loneliness is not to be comfortable with yourself. The fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time. The dog is a gentleman. I hope to go to his heaven, not man's. Out of all the things I have lost, I miss my mind the most. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So, throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. Adam was but human. This explains it all. He did not want the apple for the apple's sake. He wanted it only because it was forbidden. The mistake was not in forbidding the serpent. Then he would have eaten the serpent. The 1st of April is the day we remember what we are, the other 364 days of the year. I didn't have time to write a short letter, so I wrote a long one instead. Give every day the chance to become the most beautiful of your life. Of all God's creatures, there is one that cannot be made slave of the leash. That one is the cat. If man could be crossed with the cat, it would improve the man, but it would deteriorate the cat. There is nothing in the world like persuasive speech to fuddle the mental apparatus. There are basically two types of people: people who accomplish things and people who claim to have accomplished things. The first group is less crowded. Never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. Education consists mainly of what we have unlearned. If you pick up a starving dog and make him prosperous, he will not bite you. This is the principal difference between a dog and man. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect. I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened. All good things arrive unto them that wait, and don't die in the meantime. Architects cannot teach nature anything. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. It is curious that physical courage should be so common in the world, and moral courage so rare. The only very marked difference between the average civilized man and the average savage is that the one is gilded and the other is painted. Life would be infinitely happier if we could only be born at the age of 80 and gradually approach 18. Travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness, and many of our people need it sorely on these accounts. Broad, wholesome, charitable views of men and things cannot be acquired by vegetating in one little corner of the earth all one's lifetime. The more I learn about people, the more I like my dog. It is by the goodness of God that in our country we have those three unspeakable precious things: freedom of speech, freedom of conscience, and the prudence never to practice either of them. Thunder is good, thunder is impressive, but it is lightning that does the work. There are many humorous things in the world, among them the white man's notion that he is less savage than the other savages. If it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat 2 frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. The human race has only one really effective weapon, and that is laughter. Wrinkles should merely indicate where the smiles have been. Never allow someone to be your priority while allowing yourself to be their option. The lack of money is the root of all evil. The fact that man knows right from wrong proves his intellectual superiority to the other creatures, but the fact that he can do wrong proves his moral inferiority to any creatures that cannot. He who asks is a fool for 5 minutes, but he who does not ask remains a fool forever. Books are for people who wish they were somewhere else. When I was a boy of 14, my father was so ignorant I could hardly stand to have the old man around. But when I got to be 21, I was astonished at how much the old man had learned in 7 years. Comparison is the death of joy. What do we call love, hate, charity, revenge, humanity, forgiveness? Different results of the master impulse, the necessity of securing one's self-approval. Politicians and diapers must be changed often, and for the same reason. Write without pay, until somebody offers to pay. Good judgment is the result of experience, and experience the result of bad judgment. When we remember we are all mad, the mysteries disappear, and life stands explained. The secret to getting ahead is getting started. Get your facts first, and then you can distort them as much as you please. The government is merely a servant, merely a temporary servant. It cannot be its prerogative to determine what is right and what is wrong, and decide who is a patriot and who isn't. Its function is to obey orders, not originate them. When I was younger, I could remember anything, whether it happened or not. But my faculties are decaying now, and soon I shall be so I cannot remember any but the things that never happened. It is sad to go to pieces like this, but we all have to do it. You can't reason with your heart. It has its own laws and thumps about things which the intellect scorns. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Life is short. Break the rules. Forgive quickly, kiss slowly, love truly, laugh uncontrollably, and never regret anything that makes you smile. Cauliflower is nothing but cabbage with a college education. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. Unconsciously, we all have a standard by which we measure other men, and if we examine closely, we find that this standard is a very simple one, and is this: we admire them, we envy them, for great qualities we ourselves lack. Hero worship consists in just that. Our heroes are men who do things which we recognize, with regret, and sometimes with a secret shame that we cannot do. We find not much in ourselves to admire. We are always privately wanting to be like somebody else. If everybody was satisfied with himself, there would be no heroes. My books are water. Those of the great geniuses is wine. Everybody drinks water. Grief can take care of itself, but to get the full value of a joy, you must have somebody to divide it with. That is just the way with some people. They get down on a thing when they don't know nothing about it. In the first place, God made idiots. This was for practice. Then he made school boards. What would men be without women? Scarce, sir. Mighty scarce. It's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled. There isn't time, so brief as life, for bickerings, apologies, heartburnings, callings to account. There is only time for loving, and but an instant, so to speak, for that. Religion was invented when the first con man met the first fool. Noise proves nothing. Often a hen who has laid an egg cackles as if she had laid an asteroid. The two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why.